Hello, Care Partners. Teresa Youngstrom here. I came across some amazing statistics that really they're not great, but it's good to know that we have some resources in town to help. But listen to this. Nearly one out of every three people in the United States are caring for a chronically ill, disabled, or aging family member or friend. Many of them seek education and resource information on how to manage the care of their family members and loved ones. They may also need to learn how to take care of themselves to avoid things like isolation, burnout, or illness. You can give it all and lose it all because you get sick when no one's taking care of you. Importantly, how to care for partners, desires, but maintain that loving relationship with family members and friends. But what if there was a service in town that served care partners through support groups, retreats, and referrals? Or what if they could even engage these care partners, an extended family and the community through educational workshops, outreach teams, and participation in community events? Finally, what if an organization could empower the care partners through positive support groups and evidence based self care classes? Well, we have such that organization, and it's called Catholic Charities Southwestern Ohio. And we have the coordinator here, Angie Homelle, to tell us all about it. Let me tell you about Angie. She has 20 years of caregiving experience as a professional volunteer and a family caregiver. Since 2016, she has coordinated the Caregiver Assistance Network with Catholic Charities of Southwestern Ohio. Angie and her dedicated volunteers empower family caregivers to find the balance and resources they need to take care of themselves through support groups, educational events, retreats, and self care classes. Angie grew up in Cincinnati and still lives on the west side of town in Cincinnati with her husband and two of their four children. Today, I want to welcome Angie Homelle. Hey, Angie.
Hi, Teresa. It's good to be here. Thanks for having
Hey.
me.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm excited to hear more about your programs because there's a huge need out there. We made that clear. There's a huge need. And so I need to hear more about what you do. So first, tell us a little bit about Catholic Charities Southwestern Ohio and what exactly is the mission?
At Catholic Charities, our mission is to serve, engage, and empower people through God's love in their times of vulnerability. So we serve a wide range of people, a lot of different services to engage the community and building solidarity. So really, we want to walk with people. We want to, be side by side. I love that terminology used all the time is you come alongside people. That's what we're all about. And our mission is enabled by the generosity of donors and volunteers. Together, we serve and bring hope to more than 19,000 people each year. We serve Hamilton, Butler, Claremont, Warren, Brown, Adams, Highland, Clinton, Champaign, Logan, and Clark counties in Ohio. So it's quite a large organization, and honestly, my program is just a tiny little piece of that. We have a lot of services all the way from food pantries to health fairs to my caregiver programs. So we do a lot of different things, but we love being out in the community.
Absolutely. So what does Catholic Charities offer older adults and their families?
So our programs for seniors and for older adults and their families are we have an AmeriCorps senior program, which is a volunteer program for older adults 55 and older. They volunteer in either school as a foster grandparent or they volunteer as a companion for another homebound senior, so friendly visitor. So it's non-medical, just a friendly visitor program. And that is hugely successful. We love having that program. And then my program is for the caregivers, the family members, and the community members helping to surround loved ones who need care. So we do support groups, self-care classes, individualized resource coaching, and and evidence-based programs. And we do outreach presentations. We'll do an occasional retreat, that kind of thing as well.
Sure. Well, tell me more about these support groups. I'm a huge advocate for support groups, and people just need it. And sadly, there are people who don't realize they need it, and they can really get sick, or it can it can just bring illness to them when they don't understand how hard it is to care for another individual. And so tell me more about your support groups.
Yeah, so our support groups are in the 5 Southwest Ohio counties of Ohio. We do have a Zoom group that meets on Wednesday nights. That's a kind of a holdover from the pandemic. Um, we have a calendar on our website that lists all of the times and dates of our support groups. And our support groups are not typically disease specific, but I will tell you that all of them, there are folks. I know your specialty is dementia, Teresa, and all of our groups have somebody, multiple people dealing with dementia, but we also encourage people to attend. I encourage people to attend all the support groups you can find, because you want to be able to find a support group any day, whatever day you need it, whatever time you need it. And it's good to have a regular one that you build community with, but our support groups are open to anybody. um, you can be caring for anyone with any condition. And I think a lot of people, one of the most frequent comments I get on our surveys is, I wish I would have done this sooner.
Mm,
They just don't realize. I think sometimes we think of support groups um, maybe as a place where people go and kind of vent, or just air their dirty laundry,
it
or
can be.
help. They just to complain. um and that's not a caregiver support group. Is a little different, because the caregivers are there. Yeah, they have some struggles, and they want help with things, but they're really there. It's such a loving space. They're there to support each other, to build each other up, to encourage, and help each other find resources, share resources. My support group members help each other way more than I help them. They, give each other tips, and they're doing it. They're in the trenches. They know what works, what doesn't. They know which home health care agency is good these days. They know where to go, how which doctors to see. They know it because they've been there and they're doing it. And so
That's
that's how
awesome.
they help each other. And so that's the benefit really of the support group, is just also this idea that you're not alone. It's so A lot of times when you're caregiving, you can feel like, I'm the only one doing this. And it's natural to feel that way. It's easy to feel that way because it can be all consuming, and you feel like you're living someone else's life and helping them to get all of their, to live their life, and you set your own life on hold, and sometimes by necessity. But to be in a group of people who get it, who understand what it's like day to day, um, who, get that it's the same when, when my brother would come to visit, my mom would be all cheery and happy, and she's fine. And
Right.
then as soon as he leaves, everything is terrible and it's all my fault. And
Yes. Ah.
so it's good for just to be with somebody who gets it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And you and I have both walked that, it been in that journey with parents, and it's hard.
yeah,
And it does feel like sometimes, on one hand, I guess we're supposed to be able to handle this, which is a completely wrong idea,
right.
because we're halfway into our lives and nobody's trained us to do this. And yeah, so I can see how your support groups are different and how they could really bring about healing.
Right.
As much as you need your therapist, I think in these situations you need your support group. So that's amazing.
Yeah, you need
N-
your people. Yeah.
Yeah. Now tell me about peer mentoring. What's that?
So we've started this year a new program where, support groups aren't for everybody. Sometimes people just don't feel comfortable in a group setting, and or they don't have time. It is something that takes, you have to be available at the time the group meets and all of that. So we've developed a peer mentoring program. So we have former or current caregivers who have volunteers with us, who've been around the block. They know what they're pretty comfortable, only because they've been through it and done it, not through any spectacular, you know, natural gift they have. They've just been around the block. They know what's going on, and they've agreed to be a mentor to somebody
Mm,
who needs one. So just a friend, a one-on-one maybe meet for coffee, maybe take a walk at the park, maybe, just a phone call once a week, check and see how you're doing. And it's a one-on-one relationship. And so we are currently in the process of, we are always looking for people who want to be mentors, but we are matching people who want to have a mentor, somebody, just an individual. And we do that service. Myself and Sue McLaughlin is we have a caregiver coach on staff now. So we help people through, find resources and kind of with that technical stuff, and also to help them in their, if they have a little more complex needs. But our volunteers are there to be that regular one-on-one check-in. How are you doing? Um, you know, how's it going today? How are you? So often when we're caregiving, everybody wants to know how our loved one is, which is great, but very, people don't often ask, "Oh, how are you doing?" So, just checking in on the caregiver. It's a great program.
That's amazing. Yeah, and it sounds really great, and exactly what I can think of some individuals who could use that right now. Well,
Yeah, and we match you with somebody who's been in a similar situation or a similar relationship. It might not be exact, but also somebody who we think, we walk people through the process. We um, facilitate the first meeting between the mentor and the mentee, a conversation to make sure we set appropriate boundaries for the relationship and everything. It's very, all of our mentors have been background checked and trained, and it's all very well done. So I'm really excited about it.
yeah, absolutely. I know that you offer so many tools for caregivers, but I wanna hear, can you just share some of your powerful tools that you share with your caregivers?
Yeah, so we do a whole 6-week class, an evidence-based program called Powerful Tools for Caregivers. And again, we're trying to meet people where they are. So some people, might not be ready for a support group or think they need a mentor, but they're just trying to get information. Maybe, they see their parents slowing down a little bit and they're like, oh, I need to be ready. Maybe you've been at the hospital a few times with your spouse,
Mm.
and they're maybe not driving anymore, and you find yourself doing more and more around the house. And so you don't necessarily consider yourself a caregiver per se, but you just have been stepping in more and more to do things. And so the class is about self-care. It's about helping the caregiver be prepared. And we go over resources, community resources. We go over communication tools. How do you get your message across when you're trying to deal with all these healthcare professionals and in-home care workers or facility people or other family members, trying to get them to help? How do you have those conversations? We have a whole class on that talks about family meetings, um, and stress management and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of tools that caregivers really need. Everyone needs. It's a wonderful program. Everyone needs. We also do this course for parents of children with disabilities. So it's any type of caregiver can benefit from the class at any stage in the caregiving. So we're excited about that as well.
This is so good. Can you just elaborate for my audience, because they need to hear this, why self-care is so vitally important? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So, you probably heard this before too, Teresa, but 60% of caregivers end up passing away before their loved one. And a lot of that is because it's natural. We want Caregivers are helpers, right? They're loving, compassionate, wonderful people. And a lot of times they're very naturally empathetic, and they want to give. And they're doing it out of love. And it's a beautiful thing to witness and to watch and to walk alongside someone while they're doing it. But a lot of times the temptation, and it happens without us knowing it, we just kind of slide into the first thing to go is our exercise routine
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
our healthy eating or our doctor's appointments. All of those things are the first, or the self care things we used to do. Maybe we used to go, you have lunch with a friend, or maybe we used to go get our nails done, or whatever those self-care things we used to do for ourselves. Those are the first appointments we cancel
Mhm.
when we have to take care of somebody. And so what happens then is that takes its toll on people. And as we do caregiving, when we think about caregiving for somebody, especially with a chronic or long-term illness, we end up, you know, making, kind of sacrificing ourselves. And what we want to encourage people to do is not to sacrifice themselves, but to increase themselves, to build themselves up so that they can give more. That's how you do it. It's not by just giving and giving and giving until you have nothing left. It's by keeping your tank full and re-energizing yourself and getting the help and the supports in place so that you can be a caregiver from a healthy place, and you could keep doing it, and you know, give your loved one the best care that they deserve and that you're capable of. So,
I love that, and
um,
you just plain know all too well because you went through this.
I did.
And
I
we
did.
see with, with the folks that I, work with and educate about with the folks that have brain change, it starts off, we're just dropping by to see if they're okay, bringing a meal or taking them to doctor's appointments. But these things progress. And next thing you know, they can't be left alone. Oh, well, that changes everything. Or they're too afraid to go out anymore. So and then it's like, "Oh," and it just gets more and more time consuming, more and more difficult. You're absolutely right, and our health falls by the wayside, and next thing you know, we're not doing home cooked meals, we're ordering pizza, and, oh boy, you couldn't be more right about this. Angie, such great information. I can't believe that you're just a small portion of what they do there at Catholic Charities because it seems huge what you do there. I think my audience needs to know how to get a hold of you and what the next steps would be if they're sitting in this boat right now and they're going, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need to hear. And so please tell us how we can get a hold of Angie and how we can tap into these great services.
Yeah, so, I wanna encourage people to reach out, just to reach out to somebody, whether it's to Teresa, whether it's to us, whether it's to a disease-specific organization that you're dealing with. Reach out to as many people as possible. Um, like Teresa mentioned, I've been through this. My mom died of dementia, died of Alzheimer's back in February, and I went through the whole thing with her, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and
So did I. So did I.
and
I was wrong.
right? We're always it's learning, each person is different, and each family is different, and everybody's resources is different, and so there's
Mm,
no roadmap, and so it's not something that, we should expect to be able to do on our own. Even the best families, even the families that are all supportive. I mean, I had a family that was supportive, they wrapped around me, and it still was hard. So I just encourage you to reach out. You can call. We have a care line. It's a Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. We will get back to you. Leave a message, please, if we don't answer. But it goes both to Sue and I. It's 513-869-4483. And I think that number has been running across the bottom of the screen.
mhm.
That's our care line. You can call anytime and ask questions. Just talk to one of us. Um, we have our website, a Catholic Charities website. We have a Get Help tab, and under Get Help, we're at the top, Caregiver Assistance Network. You click on there, and then our whole calendar of events, our phone number, our email, all of that is there. Um, you can email us at can@ccswh.org. That's on the bottom of the screen too. Any of those ways are great ways to get a hold of us. Just reach out, find out, we will help you find a support that works for you, whether it's a class or support group or a mentor or even another, if we don't have something that's going to fit your lifestyle, we will find something for you. So that's what we're here for. Just so you know, you're not alone. You don't have to do this alone. Whatever stage of caregiving you're in, we're here for you.
Right, and not just for dementia, whatever
No, yeah,
whatever disease you're caring for,
that's right.
that applies here, guys. So this isn't just for folks that are dealing with someone with brain change. Whatever it is, you
Right.
need support, because life is hard, and we all need help. We all need help from time to time, and this is when you're caregiving for someone, that's a huge just a huge impact on your life, and why not be prepared for that? Why not be ready to go? Why not have a mentor going into it? What a great idea. What
Right.
a great concept. I love it. Well, Angie, it's been my pleasure having you here, and the information's been tremendous. And I hope that it's fruitful for you. I have a feeling you're going to be getting a lot of feedback and folks contacting you because we will promote this all over the world just for you. So thanks again for being here. Thanks, Catholic Charities. Southwestern Ohio for being an amazing organization. And as always, we hope that you will like and that you'll share this information because so many need this. You heard the statistics. You know, many of us know someone personally going through this and they might need this information. So please share with them and then subscribe so that you can have at your fingertips the next great idea we come up with here at A Better Approach to Memory Care. Thanks so much for being here. And remember, you got this.